symbolically, when we look at neurotics, there's already uh, a subject born into debt, born into sin, right? Born into karma, whatever term you want to use. There's always something of a lack, right? Or an indebtedness. And I kind of actually want to jump into the section of seminar one because I think this is important. There's two parts of this section, but I think because we're talking about symbolic order, neurosis, and pact, Lacan brings up a patient in the nucleus of repression, a patient of his. And just to prove his point and drive this point home about like superego, symbolic order, and law, his patient is raised in Islamic faith and comes from Islamic background, but this patient's an atheist. They kind of rejected the Muslim culture and even the religion. Um but this patient is an obsessional and complains about this like never ending pain in their hand, and there's no like physical or physiological cause to it, but it keeps reoccurring. And what Lacan kind of points out is that in treatment he recounts his relationship to the law and even his relationship to the Islamic law. Unlike Christianity and even Western religion and law, it's always like give what is owned to Caesar and give what is owned to God, right? But in the Quranic law, God and the political authority are same, right? And so this is how law is instantiated into him, even if he resigns religion, right? And he recounts the fact that he who steals will have their hand chopped off, right? And so he's recounting like a time in which his father was like a diplomat, or he was like someone of like really high status, was accused of theft, right? And so his hand was cut off, and this is like a repressed law, right? And so the law comes back in the superegoic sense of the pain in the hand, because his admittance into the law is already that of being guilty, right? Being guilty of the law, but then also guilty by the superego because he fails to recognize the law, right? At the same time, because he doesn't know where this law is coming from because he's repressed it. Not only has he repressed it, but then when it comes back, he misrecognizes it. And so this is how the superego torments him. But the point being, it's like, this is how we see the law and tying in repression, censorship, superego, debt, all into that with, crime. Like, this is how uh, symbolic order and the pact function, right? I even like how he says right here after what he says, in fact, the Quranic law decrees the following with respect to the person who is found guilty of theft, the hand will be cut off. He says right here, uh, to be sure, for a long time now, the prescription has not been put into effect, no more than that belonging to the law of Manu. Whoever has committed incest with his mother must tear off his testicles and carry them in his hand while going towards the west, right? But it does not remain any the less inscribed in the symbolic order which founds interhuman relationships and which is called the law, right?
Right, right. This is
It's such a banger line, right?
it is also funny to me that it says genitals, but you said testicles.
Did I say?
I mean, that is the connotation, though. It's just hilarious. This passage is hilarious, and here Lacan is referencing it in a very old book, of Dharmic law, which is a reference to the laws of Manu. Fascinating, right?